Hi. So, everyone, I am so excited. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Charlotte Whittle and I'm a Regional Vice President with Arbonne. And we have got on the call an absolute Arbonne superstar that's going to share her story and share some top tips with us today. So, this is Executive Regional Vice President Margaret Brown, who I have loved since I started Arbonne. Margaret's in Stewart's Nation and she is Ashley Ray's sponsor. We all know Ashley and love Ashley. So let me tell you a little bit about Margaret. Margaret is an ERVP, which means that not only has she figured out how to get herself to region, she's also helped somebody else figure out how to get themselves there. It's pretty cool to be an ERVP. And the other thing is, she's an incentive trip earner, and she earned the incentive the year that she became a region. And what that tells us is, if you are going for incentive trips, you will promote to the next level. So I'm not going to do any more talking because we're all sick of listening to me. I'm going to hand it over to Margaret and ask you to share your top tips, Margaret, and your story, please.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. This is an absolute honour. I'm really excited to be on this call because I think anything we can do to help anyone get to the top in Arbonne is worth doing it. So I'm based in Aberdeen. You can probably tell by my accent that I'm not in Manchester area. And lovely sunny day, so the frozen north is a myth. My background, I have a corporate background. So I spent about 25 years or so traveling the world, mostly with the oil industry. 95% of my clients were in the oil industry because Aberdeen is the centre of the oil industry in Europe. So it's been a fantastic career. I've literally travelled the world. I've worked at every level of management, from executive level to first line supervisor. I've worked onshore, I've worked offshore. I've literally met thousands of people and had the chance to make a difference to their working lives. So it's been a wonderful career and I've absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, the downside of my job is I was freelance. So when I wasn't working, I wasn't earning a single penny. Now that was fine because I had been consistently busy and I had a nice lifestyle because of that. But 2008 was a major wake-up call for me because when the economy went into freefall, the oil industry will immediately cut back on everything that's non-operational. So design agencies, leadership coaches like myself, all gone. So that was a major wake-up call for me because for the first time in about 20 years, I wasn't busy. And thankfully, the work started to pick up again after about a year and a half. But here's my first tip. At the end of the DA presentation, we say, if you lost your job tomorrow, how long could you live on your savings? Most people say, what savings? Or else not very long. I was fortunate that I had enough savings that I could live for over a year. But they're all gone now. I don't have another fallback plan. So I did start to get busy again, but that was a major wake-up call. And then out of the blue, one very snowy January night, my long-term wonderful friend, Executive Regional Vice President Shan Elliott, called me and she said, Margaret, I've started a new business. I'd love you to come and hear all about it. Well, I have to say my first thought was not very positive. Shan had been very successful with some other direct selling companies in the past. So I just assumed that it would be some kind of party plan business. And there's just no way I was going to touch anything like that with a barge pole. I have to admit that I thought I was above it. And I was pretty negative. So, however, one thing I was supportive of my friends. So I said, okay, I'll come along and I'll come with an open mind. So that's another thing. But thankfully, I have an open mind. So I went to the presentation. We were very fortunate because there was no Arbonne in Aberdeen at the time. So Executive National Vice President Ian Pritchard was actually up in Aberdeen presenting the business. So as I heard the presentation, I was sitting at the back with my arms folded thinking, let me just get home for a glass of wine. That's all I wanted to do. But as I heard the presentation unfolding, I thought, wow, maybe this is my fallback plan the next time the oil industry goes down. It's not what I was expecting. It's not what I could ever see myself doing. But I thought, maybe this is it. I have to admit, when Ian said that at the end, he said, if you don't change something now, where will you be in 5 years' time? So at that time, I was coming up for 55. And I thought, if I don't change something now, 60 is going to come round and I'm not going to be able to retire because I get paid a day rate. And if I live till I'm 90, I just can't sustain that. So I thought, maybe I need to do this. So I signed up. and then promptly did nothing for 4 months at all because I was freaking out about my professional credibility, because that was important to me. I'd spent 24 years building a reputation and I really didn't want to spoil that. So anyway, I spent 4 months doing absolutely nothing. And I have to admit, I used to lie in my bed rehearsing my quitting speech to Shan. Well, I can't see myself doing it. I don't think I want to do it. I don't want to speak to people. I'm worried about their reaction. So here's my first tip. Do not care about what people think. They are not going to pay your mortgage if you lose your job. They're not going to pay for you for the lifestyle that you deserve to have in the future. So that's my first tip. Please don't care what people think. As you learn the skills of speaking to people, if you're quite new, it becomes easier and easier, and you will believe that you're giving somebody a life-changing opportunity. You're actually giving them a gift. So that's very important. That's my top tip for at this stage. So anyway, the thing that changed it for me was I decided literally at the last minute that I should go to GTC in Vegas. I decided on the Sunday I should go. I messaged Stuart Arnfield on Facebook Messenger. I said, I know you're playing the sky just now, but I think I should be at that conference. Is there any way you can get me a seat? So I was having my dinner with my husband, and my message pinged up, and this was Stuart saying, we've got you a place, book your flight. So he even sent Shan round to my house to make sure I was going, because they've moved heaven and earth to get me that seat. So I did. I came upstairs to my office. I booked my flights. I phoned the NGN Grand. I got my hotel place. I cancelled all my meetings for the week. And at 7 o'clock the next morning, I was on the plane to Vegas. So I know it was just mental, just as you do. Sunday night, I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. So, but that was what changed it for me, because suddenly I got the big picture. And because I came from a leadership development background, that's what I did in the oil industry, I was very kind of tuned into what good leadership actually was. And when I saw the leadership team, Kay Napier, Peter McTravers, Michael Derminio presenting on stage, I thought, this is the best leadership team I have ever encountered in my leadership development career. And not only the home office people and the fact that the staff were clearly so happy, but also the top earners that were on the stage. I thought, my goodness, they come from all different backgrounds. There are people there with far bigger corporate careers than I've ever had. And they're earning far more than they ever earned in their big corporate careers. I thought, get over yourself, Margaret. This is the vehicle. And my vision just went like that. It just, the blinkers came off, and I thought, this is it, I'm doing it. And I came back. I went out to Vegas as a consultant with no team. We came back towards the end of April as a district manager by the middle of May, and signed up an HR director for one of my client organizations on my chicken list. And it just took off from there. And I did area, but within 11 months. And then so I went back to Vegas as an area manager, attended the White Party. And then the next year I went back as a regional vice president, which was last year. Now, I know Charlotte has had some things happen in her life, which her story is just so inspiring. What happened in my life was, in the month that I was going for a region, on the 14th of January, I was only sitting on 8,000 QVs. And this was my third month to complete, so I had to do it that month. And I needed 43,000 to complete. And out of the blue, on the 14th at 10 o'clock at night, I got a call from my brother-in-law, who was just completely in bits, to say that my sister had passed away very suddenly. So as you can imagine, the thought of region just went straight out my head. It was just absolutely horrendous. And I don't mean to embarrass you or make you feel uncomfortable by telling you this story. What I want to explain through this is the power of Arbonne and the power of teamwork and building a team filled with trust. So I got on the plane. My sister had been living in America. I got on the plane the next day. My incredible upline and Ashley Ray, my incredible regional vice president, they went onto my Facebook page. They did a video, explained what had happened, and they rallied my team. And when I came back a week later from America, my QVs had gone to over 26,000. My incredible team pulled together. And I think that's probably the most important thing, because if I had still been doing my career freelance job, my ink would have stopped there and then, because I wasn't able to do the work. So I came back and I thought, okay, I now have just over a week to complete region, and I owe it to my team to just pull this out the bag and do it. So we basically put our blinkers on. Shannon and Stuart were helping, and at 10 to 10 on the last day of January 2015, last January, I get confused with the dates, our QVs tipped over 43,000. It was unbelievable. And I have to say, I then hit a wall because the emotional, you can imagine the emotional energy. But the point I'm trying to make is I hit a wall, and for a few months, I didn't have the will to build my business. But because I had a great team in place, my business was continuing to turn over and continue to build. And more importantly, I was continuing to earn a paycheck at regional vice president level. And that was wonderful because it meant I didn't have to worry for a few months while I got my strength back, while I grieved and so on. And that went on till about May, when my brother-in-law came over with my sister's ashes to scatter them here in Scotland, because that had been her wish. So anyway, it's a very tragic story, but it shows the power of Arbonne. We never, ever know what is round the corner. And because of all the personal development I'd gained through Arbonne, I'd learned to stop being a victim and making excuses. So I think that's a very important thing, is that the personal development for me is probably 90% of it. So if you don't read every day, please, please, please make a point of reading every single day. And I think, particularly if you're new, it's getting a balance between the network marketing books, so you really build your belief in the industry, but also personal development books. So you're building your belief in yourself. So that's probably one of my very, very top tips, is the importance of reading every single day. And I'm talking about the kind of reading that moves your life forward. Many people, I think 95% of people will favour entertainment over education. They will favour watching television or reading novels or scrolling on Facebook, because that's instant gratification, it's instant pleasure. But you have to be saying to yourself, is this moving my life forward? Is this taking me towards my goal of having a life of choice for me and my family? And if the answer is no, then we have to make a decision. What am I going to do instead? So it might be the less comfortable option to give up watching maybe some of your favourite television programmes and listen to some audios instead, or go to training instead, or read a book instead. But surely, surely, if that means within the next 2 to 5 years, you can be earning a career income part-time, surely it's worth the sacrifice. So I kind of wrapped a few stories up in my story. I completed Region, as I say, last year. I'm now on track for Nation. We're all working very hard. So, and I think, some of my friends and family who were extremely negative at the beginning when I started Arbonne, they've watched our journey. And I'm 57 on Wednesday. So, and I think the products are amazing. I like to think that I don't look that age yet. So, but it's not just the fantastic products we have. I think it's the confidence, it's the self-esteem that comes from building this business. It is a roller coaster. Sometimes your confidence will take a knock. You will get rejections. You'll get people not turning up, and you think, is it me? Have I done something wrong? No, it is not you. You are in the top 5% of this population because you've seen something that other people haven't seen or can't be bothered with. So you are special. And even if you're a consultant, even if you've been a consultant for 6 months or a year, you're still in the top 5%. And I want you to give yourself a pat on the back for that, because you're still here. And all I would say is just keep going. And most importantly, keep going with the personal development and learn the skills. Have you mastered the skills of inviting, of prospecting? Do you know how to update your prospect list? Adding people to your list all the time with people you come across in your cold market. Learn the skills and and your business will build. And you have the most incredible upline in Charlotte. And Yvonne Dixon is Joanne Geddes.
So there's my mom, Anne Gallagher, Joe Geddes and Yvonne Dixon.
What a fantastic success line you're in. We're so lucky. I'm in Stuart Armfield's Nation. And I just think we're so lucky to have these leaders bringing us up, believing in us, encouraging us, because it is the most incredible business. Yeah. And no matter what your background is, if you're like me, you've got a corporate background, just get over yourself, because my clients didn't care about me. They cared about their shareholders and their bonuses. They do not care if I'm selling lipstick. They might raise their eyes and think I've lost my marbles, but I don't care, because The oil industry is in a massive downturn now. Aberdeen property prices have plummeted by 23%. So if I didn't have Arbonne, I don't know where I would be just now. So
I just think it's just so powerful, and we talk on such a regular basis about the quality and the calibre of people that do Arbonne, and I think you're just such an example of that. You know, Margaret, to all of us, would be a huge sponsor up, and look at her, she's in this business and she's an ERVP and she's telling you to just get over yourselves. And I think that, you know, reminding us that, yeah, even if you're just a consultant, you're still the top 5% of the population. Oh my God,
you're special.
You're really special that you saw this, and I'm just so grateful, Margaret. I can't believe that this is how I got to spend my Monday morning.
Oh.
It's really overwhelming me because I said yes to Arbonne. Someone like you is in my life. So I'm so grateful, and thank you so much, Margaret.
It's my absolute pleasure. Just go for it, everyone. Pick your Mercedes. This is what I did. I got a picture of my Mercedes I wanted, and I made it my screensaver. So every time I open my computer, up popped that Mercedes. And it really worked. I thought, I want that car. I wasn't actually motivated by cars. I've had nice cars at my age. I've done all that, been there and done it. But I was very motivated by this car because it was the evidence. So put that car on your screen and just go for it. I
think that's what it is, because I think I feel it when I drive my car.
Yes.
It's not about it being a car. It's about I'm the evidence, and I'm so proud of being evidence.
Exactly.
It works. And, you know, when we talked in Vegas, you alluded to what you earned in your corporate job. And so I know that for Margaret to be building this, she saw that this was something that could surpass a ridiculous corporate income. So you all have to realise that this is something for people that are already earning really good money.
Absolutely.
Something for them. That's massive. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Your day now.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.